Hi, welcome to Railtown. Today I'll show you how to get your Jira connected to railtown.ai so that you will see what tickets have been worked on, how long have been they sitting in the pipeline or on the board, and what can you do to speed up that process or to remove any friction from your own board or from your team board. So in order to do that, let's sign in into Railtown. Once you've signed in, please pick the project that you want to configure, click on configure the project, and then navigate to the ticketing tab. So a few steps that we're going to do. First of all, we're going to find out what the external project ID is in Jira for your specific board. We'll set up the ticket format string. We'll set up the project API base URL. We'll map out the ticket columns, all of the columns that are related to tickets that are active, that are being worked on, and that are committed. We'll also specify the columns that we would need to use in order to calculate how long a ticket has been sitting on a Kanban board. But before everything else, what we'll do is we'll set up the webhook URL on Jira. So what I need you to do is to copy that webhook URL, which is specific for each project on railtown.ai, and then we'll switch over to Jira. So I'm going to head to my Jira board, and this process is a little bit cumbersome, but what we need to do is to create a webhook that will be connected, that will be linked to our Railtown project, that will send updates to the board to Railtown. In order to do that, click on that menu, top menu on the left on Jira. Click on administration. It will take you to the list of all projects or everything that you have in Jira. So I need you to select the specific workspace that you want to configure, and then click on the three dots and click on Jira settings. Very cumbersome, not straightforward, but once you've done it a couple of times, you'll find your way around. You also need to be an admin in order to do that. I believe at least a project admin. So once you're there, find the webhooks section here and click on create a new webhook. I'm going to be working with my existing webhook just to show you, but it's going to be the same as if you've created a new webhook. So give it a name, status. The URL field is that URL that you will paste your webhook URL in. You can give a description. You can use a jQuery to configure to filter out events. In my case, it's just the project. I filter by the project, and then different issues: create, updated, deleted. That's it. You can click save. We've done the first part. Now, what we need to do now is to actually go to go to our project, back to a Kanban board, and we need to grab one issue, any issue, because we need to figure out what the external project ID is for that issue or for that project. So we need to open it up, click on it, and then click on the three dots, export XML. And within the export XML, we're going to grab a couple of things. So first of all, we're going to grab the project ID. It says 10,000. Okay. I'm going to go back to the ping agent. This is the external project ID. Now we're going to grab the base project URL. That's the part, everything before the backslash right here. And then you can configure the link format strings. I'll link it in the configuration, in the text configuration of what the string is. And then for the external project API token, I'll link it in a separate video because there are a couple of things that needs to be done. For now, we can just safely ignore it. And then the next step that we need to do is to actually map out the ticket columns. So if we go back to Jira, back to our board, so we have a few columns here. Typically, you might have 3, 4, 5, 6, depending on your internal software development lifecycle process. In my case, I have a to-do issue. So this is just an incoming, this is just a queue, right? So all the issues that are coming in. So in the column order is 0. In progress, I only have one column that indicates in progress, but you can also use multiple, and you can separate them by using a pipe sign. Or actually, in this case, you can just safely add multiple columns. So you can say, hey, this is going to be, let's say, testing, and the column order is going to be 3, etc., etc. So in this case, it doesn't really matter that much because you can have unlimited number of columns. The step where you can use a pipe is actually within that setup. So also make sure to click save changes, of course. Here you can use a pipe symbol to separate what different statuses are on a ticket. So in this case, for example, it could be in progress, which means that this is the ticket that I'm working on. It could be testing, which could mean that this ticket has been is being tested by my QA team. It could be something like UAT, so that there is a user acceptance testing. They might be in another stage or not, depending on your process. So in my case, it's fairly straightforward, but just make sure to map out the columns accordingly. That's it. So now you're done. How would you know if your setup is successful? You can click on the team dashboard, and if you see any tickets that are opened or tickets worked on, then you know that those tickets have been pulled in from Jira. That's it. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next episode.